It all began in a small town in the Philippines, where a 15-year-old boy named Miguel had been quietly perfecting his voice and dance moves in the shadows of his modest home. Music wasn't just a hobby for Miguel, it was a lifeline. Growing up in a family that struggled to make ends meet, he often found himself singing to lift the spirits of his parents, neighbors, and even strangers who passed by. Despite limited resources, Miguel's dedication was unparalleled. His room was filled with posters of Michael Jackson, worn-out music sheets, and a second-hand microphone he had saved months to afford. Miguel's story had started long before he ever dreamed of stepping onto a stage like AGT. From a very young age, he had a natural gift. His parents remembered the first time he mimicked the complex vocal runs of his favorite artists, his tiny voice surprisingly full, rich, and precise. Teachers at school would often stop mid-class just to listen when he began singing. Yet, Miguel was never one to boast. He practiced in secret, recording himself late at night with an old phone, listening to playback for hours, adjusting every note, every rhythm, and even every subtle gesture. One evening, a friend sent Miguel a link to an AGT casting call. At first, he laughed at the idea. Why would anyone like my singing on that stage? He thought. But something inside him stirred. Perhaps it was the voice of Michael Jackson echoing in his head. Perhaps it was the dream of showing the world what he could do. Whatever it was, Miguel decided to take a leap of faith. With the support of his parents and the encouragement of his closest friends, he recorded a short audition video performing Billie Jean in his room. His performance was raw, unpolished, yet utterly captivating. The video captured not only his talent but the depth of his passion. Weeks later, an email arrived that would change his life forever. He had been accepted to audition for America's Got Talent. The news was surreal. Miguel had dreamed of this moment for years, but now the reality was overwhelming. He and his parents booked their tickets, and Miguel flew to the United States for the first time. Stepping off the plane, everything felt bigger, brighter, and faster than he had imagined. The city lights, the bustling crowds, the sheer scale of the venue, it was intimidating. But Miguel had one goal: to perform Billie Jean with every ounce of his heart. Backstage at AGT, the nerves were palpable. Contestants whispered words of encouragement to one another, while producers rushed around ensuring every detail was perfect. Miguel felt a mixture of fear and excitement. His hands trembled slightly as he adjusted his outfit, a sleek black jacket, gloves reminiscent of Michael Jackson, and his signature sneakers. He took a deep breath, reminding himself of all the late nights, the practice sessions, the sacrifices, and the dream that had brought him here. As he stepped onto the stage, the audience erupted into applause. The bright lights, the cameras, and the energy of thousands of viewers made his heart race. But Miguel's focus was unwavering. He had rehearsed this moment countless times in his mind. And then, as the first notes of Billie Jean played, something extraordinary happened. Miguel's voice poured out like liquid emotion, precise, controlled, yet full of raw feeling. Every note hit with perfection, every lyric delivered with depth. The audience watched in stunned silence, captivated by the boy who seemed to channel Michael Jackson himself. Miguel didn't just sing, he performed. His feet glided across the stage in a smooth moonwalk that drew audible gasps from the crowd. His hands and gestures mirrored the king of pop's iconic movements, yet there was something uniquely his own, a spark that no one could replicate. Simon Cowell, known for his tough critiques and rarely seen emotional reactions, leaned forward, eyes widening in disbelief. This wasn't just talent, it was a phenomenon unfolding live on stage. Midway through the song, something magical occurred. The lighting subtly shifted, casting a soft glow that seemed to center around Miguel. His voice hit notes so pure and resonant that the audience felt as if time had paused. You could see Simon leaning back in his chair, covering his mouth, his eyes glistening with emotion. Judges Kelly Clarkson and Howie Mandel exchanged looks of awe, clearly moved by the sheer artistry and emotional depth of Miguel's performance. The music seemed to transcend the stage, filling the theater with an almost ethereal quality, and for a brief moment, everyone watching felt as if Michael Jackson himself was smiling down on this young Filipino teen. As Miguel finished the final note, the silence that followed was profound. The audience then erupted into a standing ovation, the clapping and cheering echoing throughout the arena. Simon Cowell rose to his feet, tears forming in his eyes, and gave Miguel one of the most heartfelt standing ovations he had ever given. "That was incredible," Simon said, voice thick with emotion. "I've seen countless performances, but what you just did, it's impossible to describe. You didn't just sing, you captured a soul tonight. Thank you for that." Backstage, Miguel was overwhelmed with emotion. He had done it. He had shared his passion, his story, and his heart with the world. But more than that, he had inspired everyone who watched him, showing that talent combined with dedication and heart can truly create magic. As he hugged his parents, tears streaming down their faces, he whispered, "I just wanted to make them feel something, and I think I did." News of Miguel's performance spread like wildfire. Clips of his audition went viral across social media platforms. People from around the world shared the video, praising his voice, his performance, and the sheer emotion he conveyed. Comments poured in from fans, celebrities, and even professional musicians, all marveling at the talent of this young boy from the Philippines. His story became more than just a performance. It became a testament to perseverance, passion, and the universal language of music. In interviews following his performance, Miguel remained humble. He spoke about his love for Michael Jackson, his journey, and the importance of staying true to one's dreams despite obstacles. "I want to inspire others," he said softly, "to show that no matter where you come from or what challenges you face, if you love something enough and work for it, anything is possible." His words resonated deeply with viewers, further cementing his story as one of hope and inspiration. The judges, especially Simon Cowell, continued to praise Miguel for weeks. Simon, often critical and analytical, admitted that Miguel's performance had shaken him in a way few contestants ever had. He called it a defining moment in AGT history, comparing Miguel's artistry and dedication to legendary performers who had graced stages decades before. Kelly Clarkson described Miguel as a once-in-a-generation talent, while Howie Mandel highlighted the emotional connection Miguel created with the audience, something that transcended technique or skill alone. As the competition progressed, Miguel continued to captivate audiences with his performances, but it was that first Billie Jean audition that remained unforgettable. Fans spoke about how they felt chills when he hit certain notes, how his voice seemed to carry stories of hardship, hope, and dreams fulfilled. Social media was flooded with hashtags praising Miguel, and articles in newspapers and magazines chronicled his journey from a small town in the Philippines to the grand stage of AGT. Despite the fame and attention, Miguel stayed grounded. He returned to his roots, visiting his hometown, thanking teachers and friends, and encouraging other young artists to follow their passion. He understood that his talent was not just a gift but also a responsibility, to inspire, uplift, and give back to the community that had supported him. In the final episodes of AGT, Miguel's performances were met with thunderous applause and standing ovations at every turn. Yet, the magic of that first Billie Jean performance remained a touchstone, the moment when a young Filipino teen showed the world that music is not just heard, it is felt, experienced, and shared. When the final results were announced, Miguel's journey had left an indelible mark on the hearts of viewers and judges alike, regardless of the outcome. He had already won something far greater: the admiration, respect, and inspiration of millions. As we look back on Miguel's unforgettable performance, it is impossible not to feel the emotional resonance of that night. A boy who had practiced tirelessly in his small room, who had dreamed quietly of the world stage, stood before millions and reminded everyone of the transformative power of music. He reminded us that talent, when paired with courage and heart, can break boundaries, touch souls, and even move the most experienced critics to tears. Miguel's story did not end on that stage. In the years that followed, he pursued a professional career in music, releasing singles that echoed the same emotional depth of his AGT performances. He collaborated with renowned artists, performed in sold-out arenas, and continued to inspire countless young musicians worldwide. Interviews and documentaries featured him as an example of perseverance, dedication, and the universal language of music that connects humanity. For those watching at home, Miguel's journey is more than entertainment. It is a reminder to chase your dreams relentlessly, to embrace your passions fully, and to believe that even the smallest voice can make the largest impact. His Billie Jean performance remains a moment frozen in time, a testament to what is possible when talent, hard work, and heart converge in perfect harmony. So, as we celebrate Miguel and his extraordinary journey, let us remember this lesson. Greatness is not defined by the size of the stage, the fame, or the accolades. It is defined by the courage to step into the spotlight, the willingness to share your heart, and the ability to touch lives through the purest forms of expression. Miguel did all of that in one unforgettable night, and in doing so, he reminded the world why we fall in love with music in the first place. The story of Miguel, the Filipino teen who shocked Simon Cowell with Billie Jean, will live on forever, a shining example of talent, dedication, and the magic that happens when dreams take flight. And that concludes our journey into the unforgettable performance that moved millions. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories that celebrate talent, perseverance, and the moments that change lives. Every story we share is a testament to the power of hope, and Miguel's story will continue to inspire generations to come.